Program it like the elite do. You start seeing what others can't. You notice the moves before they happen. You anticipate, adapt, and control the game while everyone else is stuck reacting to it. And in this series, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Because once you master this, you don't just win. You can't lose. Right now, your mind is working against you, and you don't even realize it. Every doubt, every hesitation, every failure you've experienced, it's not just random. It's a system running in the background, filtering reality based on the limits you've unknowingly accepted. Ever told yourself, I'm bad at public speaking? Suddenly you notice every awkward pause, every uninterested face, every fumbled word. Your brain seeks out proof to confirm your belief. Now flip it. Imagine telling yourself, I am training to be a world-class speaker. Suddenly your brain picks up articles on persuasion. You notice how confident people carry themselves. You hear applause where you once heard silence. Nothing about reality changed, except what your brain allows you to see. This is your reticular activating system, RAS, in action. It controls what you notice, what you ignore, and ultimately what you believe is possible. And if you don't program it deliberately, it will be programmed for you. That's what separates the elite from everyone else. Right now, your brain is either working for you or against you. The people at the top? They've trained their reticular activating system, RAS, to process reality in a way that guarantees success, while everyone else stumbles around blind. Still think it's just a theory? Look at how the world's most dominant minds use it every single day. A poker champion doesn't waste a second worrying about his own cards. His RAS is scanning micro-reactions, tiny flickers in facial muscles, a subtle hesitation, a hand movement, tells his opponent doesn't even realize he's giving away. While the average player prays for good luck, he creates his own. An FBI profiler walks into an interrogation room and instantly sees what others don't. While an untrained person gets lost in words, his RAS locks onto body language shifts, micro-expressions, inconsistencies in tone, the kind of hidden details that make suspects crack. Most people hear the answer. He sees the truth before it's even spoken. A fighter pilot doesn't fear speed, he owns it. While an average person would panic at the chaos of a high-speed dogfight, his RAS processes everything in real time. Engine vibrations, air pressure shifts, enemy maneuvers before they happen. He's 3 moves ahead, while the opponent is still reacting to the last one. A billionaire investor doesn't follow the news. He sees patterns forming before they even hit the headlines. While the masses panic and react, his RAS is already tuned into long-term trends, spotting opportunities before anyone else even knows they exist. By the time others realize what's happening, he's already made his move. A world-class striker in soccer doesn't just react to the ball, he predicts the game. His RAS is tracking the tiniest movements of defenders, reading their weight shifts, anticipating their mistakes before they make them. While an average player sees the play, he orchestrates it. A military general doesn't wait for war. He prepositions his army before the first move is even made. His RAS is tuned to anticipate threats, force enemies into vulnerable positions, and ensure victory before a single shot is fired. The average commander reacts to battle. He controls it before it even starts. A CEO running a billion-dollar empire doesn't make decisions based on emotions or gut feelings. His RAS filters through massive amounts of data, finding the one key insight that will make or break a company. While mid-level managers stress over minor details, he already sees the next 5 years mapped out. The difference between a predator and prey? One sees what others don't. Your brain is already filtering reality. The only question is, your RAS is working, but is it working for you? Or is it reinforcing fear, hesitation, and excuses? If you believe money is scarce, your RAS will block out opportunities and only let in proof of struggle. If you believe success takes years, Your RAS will ignore shortcuts and only highlight roadblocks. If you believe you're bad at something, your RAS will show you every failure while hiding your progress. But what happens when you flip the script? What happens when you train your RAS to filter reality like the elite do? You start seeing what others can't. You anticipate moves before they happen. You find opportunities where others see dead ends. You create advantages in real time, while everyone else is stuck reacting. And once you train your brain like this, the game stops controlling you. You start controlling the game. Now here is the 24-hour mind hack that reprograms your reality. This isn't just an exercise. This is mental warfare against every limitation that's been controlling you. And once you do this daily, your brain will be rewired to spot advantages, detect hidden opportunities, and anticipate winning moves before anyone else even realizes they exist. Most people go through life blind, seeing only what their outdated programming allows. But this is how you override the system and install a new operating code designed for dominance. Step 1, the morning command. Force your brain to hunt for what you want. Your RAS is like a heat-seeking missile, but it needs a target. If you don't give it one, it defaults to your fears, doubts, and distractions. That ends today. Right after waking up, command your brain, show me one new way to increase my income today. Reveal at least one opportunity to expand my influence. Make me aware of one hidden advantage I can use to get ahead. You're not asking. You're demanding your subconscious to tune in. The trick? Say it out loud. When you speak it, your brain processes it as a command, not a wish. Step 2, mental rehearsal. Install success before it happens. For 3 minutes, close your eyes and see it happening. If you want money, see the breakthrough idea hitting you. If you want confidence, see yourself handling pressure like a pro. If you want opportunities, see yourself spotting them before anyone else. Why? Your brain can't tell the difference between a mental rehearsal and reality. What it sees, it creates. Step 3, night calibration. Decode the hidden signals. Before bed, write down every clue you noticed. That random comment that sparked an idea. That gut feeling you normally ignore. That subtle shift in a conversation. Even if you didn't act on them, record them. This tells your brain, keep finding more. At first, it'll feel small, then it snowballs. Do this for 24 hours. Watch how your awareness sharpens, how opportunities appear, how you start catching what others miss. Because once your RAS is wired for success, you don't chase opportunities. You attract them. Most people wander through life with their eyes half closed, reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. They take whatever comes their way as fate or luck, rarely questioning how they could reshape the situation. Enter the predator mindset, a state of unwavering focus, strategic thinking, and bold execution that allows you to shift from passive observer to active architect of your reality. This is the mental framework of the world's top performers. From elite combat pilots to seasoned FBI agents, to chess grandmasters who see winning moves where others see dead ends. At its core, the predator mindset revolves around proactive decision-making. Predators in the wild don't lounge around hoping prey will drop into their mouths. They plan, stalk, and strike with precision. Similarly, a high-level thinker doesn't wait for external validation or perfect timing. Instead, they create conditions that favor their success. Take FBI negotiators, for instance. In a crisis, they don't wait for the hostage taker to realize the error of their ways. They actively shape the conversation, seeding empathy, finding leverage, and guiding the outcome. They're not merely hoping for a good result. They're engineering one. Another hallmark of the predator mindset is adaptability. A pilot confronting severe turbulence mid-flight doesn't freeze or pray for fair weather. They adjust altitude, check their instruments, and trust their training to navigate the storm. This capacity to pivot under pressure separates the best from the rest. They remain calm, gather information, and take decisive action to steer toward a better outcome. Think of the chess grandmaster who faces an unexpected sacrifice from their opponent. Instead of panicking, they reevaluate the board, see new patterns, and sometimes convert what looks like a disadvantage into a crushing counterattack. The best never lock themselves into a single plan. They move in possibilities. A weak mind sees setbacks. A predator sees openings. A weak mind sees failure. A predator sees a new strategy. A weak mind waits. A predator acts. When a deal falls through, the weak see disaster. The predator sees an opportunity to repackage, to pivot, to come back stronger. When a plan collapses, the weak complain. The predator finds the next move. When others hesitate, the predator strikes. To cultivate this mindset, begin with intentional self-direction. Drop the passive language of "I hope" or "I wish" and replace it with "I will" and "I am" statements. Each morning, set a clear objective. I will make measurable progress on launching my new project. Or, I am developing my negotiation skills to handle tough situations. This simple shift in phrasing can drastically alter how your mind processes your goals. Suddenly, your RAS, reticular activating system, and your emotions align with active pursuit rather than passive daydreaming. Next, master the art of rapid situational assessment. High-level thinkers don't get stuck on a single plan. They maintain a menu of contingencies. When new data appears, they cycle through the mental question, what is the opportunity here? For instance, if your biggest client suddenly pulls out of a deal, a passive mindset sees disaster. A predator mindset sees an opening to pivot. Maybe it's a chance to redesign your service, find new clients, or negotiate more favorable terms. By consistently asking, what can I do with this situation? You train your brain to look for angles that others miss. Finally, understand that execution is the lifeblood of the predator mindset. No matter how brilliant your plan or how detailed your analysis, it amounts to nothing if you don't act. The greatest pilots train extensively, but they also fly, logging hours in the sky to refine their skills. The best FBI negotiators study psychology, yet they also step into tense standoffs, applying their craft in real time. Your growth demands the same willingness to face risk and step into uncharted territory. It's not about being reckless, it's about being resolute. Adopting the predator mindset means you'll stop waiting for permission and start creating opportunities. You'll trade wishful thinking for deliberate, strategic moves. Above all, you'll realize that the difference between a good life and an extraordinary one often boils down to how actively you choose to participate in shaping your destiny. The hidden mental code that separates winners from the weak. Elite performers, whether on the battlefield, in high-stakes negotiations, or at the chessboard, aren't just smarter or faster. They think differently. They don't just react to what's in front of them. They process reality on an entirely different level. How? Mental models. These are the invisible frameworks that shortcut decision-making, eliminate hesitation, and turn chaos into control. They're like high-performance software running in the background, constantly scanning for advantages, threats, and the next move. And if you're not using them, you're already behind. How the elite think 10 moves ahead while you're stuck reacting. The average person sees one move ahead. They make a decision and hope for the best. The elite think in cascades. They don't just ask, if I do X, what happens? They ask, what happens after that? And after that? And what chain reaction does it set off? This is called second-order thinking, a mental model used by billionaire investors, world-class strategists, and chess grandmasters. The new chess player focuses on their next move. The grandmaster calculates 10 moves ahead, forcing their opponent into a position where they lose before they even realize it. The average CEO reacts to the economy. The billionaire CEO predicts trends years in advance, positioning themselves so that when the market shifts, they're already in control. The weak negotiator tries to win an argument. The elite negotiator manipulates the conversation so the opponent thinks they're winning, while walking straight into a trap. But how to install this mental model into your brain? Most people are playing checkers. It's time to start playing chess. The next time you make a decision, don't just ask, what happens next? Ask yourself, what happens after that? What ripple effect will this create? How does this play out 5 moves from now? Because once you start thinking beyond the immediate move, you stop reacting to the game and start controlling it, and that's when you stop losing. The OODA loop, a tool for instant decision-making. Most people freeze under pressure. They hesitate, overthink, or act on pure emotion. The elite, they operate differently. They move fast, precise, and always in control. One of their secret weapons, the OODA loop. Originally created by Air Force Colonel John Boyd, the OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, act, is used by fighter pilots, FBI agents, and world-class strategists to make instant decisions without getting stuck in analysis paralysis. When fighter pilots engage in combat, there's no time to hesitate. If they wait, they die. So they observe their surroundings, orient themselves to new information, decide the best course of action, act immediately. The ones who cycle through this loop the fastest, they win every time. How the OODA loop gives you an unfair advantage. In business, the weak hesitate when the market shifts. The elite observe trends early, orient to new data, decide faster, and act before competitors even know what's happening. In negotiations, the weak react emotionally. The elite observe the other person's micro-reactions, orient their approach, decide the next psychological move, and execute it before the other side can adjust. In a crisis, the weak freeze under pressure. The elite train their minds to process information in real time, make lightning-fast decisions, and always stay ahead. This isn't just for fighter pilots. It's the difference between winning and losing in any high-stakes situation. The OODA loop is just one tool in the elite's mental arsenal. If you want to see what others miss and move ahead faster, you need more. Occam's razor. The simplest answer is usually the correct one. High-level thinkers eliminate distractions, cut through overcomplication, and focus on the core truth. Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. 80% of results come from 20% of actions. The elite don't waste time. They identify the 20% that matters and go all in. Inversion. Thinking. Instead of asking, how do I succeed? Ask, how do I fail? The answer reveals what mistakes to avoid, making the path to success clear. Confirmation. Bias reversal. Most people seek out proof they're right. The elite actively look for proof they're wrong so they can adapt before it's too late. How to train your mind like the elite. Step 1. Identify your weakest decision-making habit. Do you hesitate? Overthink? React emotionally? Find the pattern that's been costing you. Step 2. Pick one mental model and apply it daily. If you freeze under pressure, use the OODA loop to process faster. If you waste time on useless tasks, use the 80-20 rule to cut dead weight. If you overcomplicate things, use Occam's razor to simplify and execute. Step 3. Simulate it before you need it. Fighter pilots run OODA loops in training. Chess grandmasters mentally rehearse board positions. The elite condition their minds to make winning decisions automatically. The weak react. The elite predict, execute, and stay ahead. If there's one hidden factor that separates high-level thinkers, like elite pilots and FBI agents, from everyone else, it's their ability to remain calm and focused under extreme emotional pressure. While the average person may drown under stress or act impulsively, these top performers transform their turbulent emotions into fuel for sharper decision-making. They don't ignore fear, anxiety, or doubt. Rather, they channel these feelings in ways that enhance performance rather than hinder it. This is emotional mastery, the art of recognizing, reframing, and redirecting your emotional energy to maintain control in even the most chaotic situations. Most people break down under stress. Their mind clouds, their body panics, and they lose control. The elite, they don't just handle pressure, they use it. When an FBI negotiator walks into a hostage situation, he doesn't feel fear. He controls it. He slows his breathing, locks in his focus, and manipulates the energy of the room. His mind is steady while everyone else is drowning in panic. When a Special Forces soldier enters a war zone, his heart is pounding, adrenaline surging. But he doesn't label it as fear. He labels it as focus. He channels that energy into hyper-awareness, making split-second decisions before the enemy even knows what's happening. When a UFC fighter steps into the octagon, his nerves aren't a weakness, they're fuel. He's trained his mind to recognize that pressure isn't the enemy. It's proof that the moment matters. Now imagine if you could do the same. Step 1. Rewire your stress response. Stress isn't the problem. Your interpretation of it is. Weak minds feel fear and freeze. Predators feel fear and sharpen their focus. The trick? Tell your brain what the stress means. Instead of, I'm nervous about this presentation, tell yourself, this adrenaline means I'm ready. Instead of, I'm afraid of failing this deal, reframe it as, this is my moment to dominate. Fear and excitement feel the same in your body. The only difference? What you call it. Step 2. The power of tactical breathing. Fighter pilots, snipers, world-class athletes, they all use one technique to override panic in high-stakes moments. Box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. This isn't just relaxation. This is a physiological cheat code. It signals to your brain, I am in control. It shuts down panic before it hijacks you. It sharpens focus so you can think faster and react stronger. Use it before a big speech, during a negotiation, or anytime pressure threatens to take over. Master this, and you'll have an unshakable edge over everyone else. Step 3. Execute relentlessly. No hesitation, no overthinking. You can have the strongest mindset in the world, but if you don't move, you don't win. A fighter pilot can't just study battle tactics, he must fly. An FBI agent can't just learn negotiation techniques, he must face real standoffs. A grandmaster can't just analyze chess theory, he must compete against killers. And yet most people sit on knowledge and never execute. They wait for the right time. Guess what? The elite don't wait. Chess masters make moves under time pressure. Imperfect action beats hesitation. FBI agents follow leads, some dead ends, some breakthroughs, but they keep moving. Billionaire investors make bold plays while others overanalyze, and that's why they win. The moment you stop thinking and start acting, your mind rewires itself for dominance. Step 4. Use the fear of failure to become unstoppable. Most people fear failure like it's the end of the road. The elite, they use failure as fuel. Every mistake is a data point. Every setback is intelligence for the next strike. Every loss is just a test until it becomes a win. If you've been hesitating, if you've been waiting for the perfect moment, this is your wake-up call. High-level players move first and adjust later. Weak players sit back, overthink, and get left behind. You already know what you need to do. Now, execute. Because in this game, you either take control or you get controlled. The cognitive override. How to reprogram your mind like a high-level thinker. Let me show you a real, tactical way to rewire your brain right now. Most people live their life on autopilot, running the same mental scripts over and over. The key to breaking out? Cognitive override, the technique used by fighter pilots, elite soldiers, and master negotiators to think faster, clearer, and more strategically than anyone else. Step 1. The reality audit. Find the invisible chains. Ask yourself, where in my life am I following rules I never questioned? I need a college degree to be successful. Says who? Some of the richest people on earth never went to college. I need to work a 9-to-5 job to make money. Who told you that? The people making money off your labor. I should wait for the right opportunity. High-level thinkers create opportunities. They don't wait for them. Action step. Write down 3 rules you've been blindly following, then rewrite them. Step 2. The reverse engineer trick. Hack reality, like a chess grandmaster. Grandmasters in chess don't think 1 move ahead. They think 20 moves ahead. They don't react to the opponent. They set the traps before the game even begins. How does this apply to you? Reverse engineer the life you want. Instead of saying, how do I make more money? Ask, how would a billionaire think about money? Instead of asking, how do I get more confident? Ask, how do Navy SEALs train their minds for unshakable confidence? Instead of reacting to your emotions, control them like an FBI interrogator. Use emotions as tools instead of being a slave to them. Example: the best negotiators don't ask, how do I win this deal? They make the other person feel like winning means agreeing to their terms. Action step. Choose one area of your life where you feel stuck. Now, instead of thinking from your current level, think from the level of a high-performance strategist. What would they do? Step 3. The command mindset. How to make reality bend to your will. This is where you flip the game in your favor. Average people hope for success. High-level thinkers command success.
It's 9 hours.
When a fighter pilot enters a dogfight, they don't think, I hope I win. They are trained to assume they are already in control of the battle, and because of that, they act with complete certainty. That certainty becomes reality. Example: when a master manipulator wants to control a conversation, they don't ask for power. They frame the entire discussion so that they control the outcome from the start. Example: top CEOs don't wait for the economy to improve. They create economic opportunities and force the market to follow their lead. Action step: stop waiting for permission. Whatever goal you've been hesitating on, act as if it's already yours and move like it's a done deal. Confidence isn't a feeling, it's a command. The final key: once you see it, you can never unsee it. You've just learned what most people will never figure out in their lifetime. Reality is not fixed. The only thing holding you back is the mental script you've been running. But now you have the tools to override that script. You know the predator mindset versus prey mindset. You know how high-level thinkers bend reality to their will. You know how to rewrite the rules and play the game on your terms. Now there's only one question left. What's stopping you from taking control right now? Here's where everything shifts. Most people wait for life to change. High-level thinkers, they change life itself. They don't ask for permission. They don't wonder what's possible. They assume control, rewrite the game, and force reality to match their vision. Let me ask you something. What happens when a grandmaster plays chess against a beginner? The beginner reacts to the board. They're always on defense, responding to moves. The grandmaster? They already decided the game's outcome before the first move was made. That's how the elite play life. While you're stuck reacting, they've already pre-programmed the results. It's not magic, it's strategy. Example: when Jeff Bezos started Amazon, he didn't follow the traditional business rules. He created a new reality where fast delivery and customer obsession ruled and forced the world to adapt. Example: The best military commanders in history don't just fight battles. They win before the first shot is even fired. They control the terrain, supply chains, and strategy so thoroughly that their enemies lose before they even realize it. Example: the top 1% of negotiators, leaders, and influencers don't persuade people. They set the stage so well that the other person thinks it was their idea all along. Action step. What's one area of life where you've been playing defense? Flip it. Instead of reacting to the situation, pre-frame the outcome and act as if it's already a done deal. The ultimate cheat code. How high-level thinkers see the future. Let me show you something mind-blowing. The highest-level thinkers in the world, chess grandmasters, billionaires, top FBI strategists, hedge fund managers, military leaders, all have one thing in common. They don't think in the present. They think from the future. The secret. They mentally live 10 moves ahead, seeing outcomes before they happen. Think of your brain like a GPS. If you don't set a destination, you go nowhere. If you put in the wrong location, you end up in the wrong place. But if you set the right destination with a clear, precise path, you get exactly where you want to go, without fail. Example: when a fighter pilot enters combat, they don't think, "What should I do next?" They've already visualized every possible outcome. Their brain has been trained to react automatically to achieve the best move. Example: when the world's best poker players play a hand, they're not thinking about the cards in front of them. They've already mapped out their opponent's possible moves 5 turns ahead. Example: when Elon Musk decided to take on the auto industry, he didn't think, "How do I compete with Ford and Toyota?" Instead, he visualized a world where gas-powered cars were obsolete and built Tesla as if that future already existed. Action step. Pick one major goal. Something you've been wanting but feel stuck on. Write down 5 possible moves ahead. What obstacles will come up? What solutions can you prepare for? Decide how you'll respond before the problems happen. This is how you control the game before the game controls you. The reality override. Install a new mental operating system. Everything you've been taught about life is just a mental framework. The rules you live by? They're just software programs running in your brain. And the good news? Software can be rewritten. So let's install a new operating system. The 3-step reality override system. Step 1. Identify the default program. What belief is keeping you stuck? I need to work hard to make money. False. The elite create systems that make money for them. I need to wait for the right opportunity. False. The best players create the opportunity. I'm not smart enough to be successful. False. Success is about leverage, not IQ. Step 2. Overwrite the code. Install a stronger belief system. Instead of, "I don't have enough experience to start," upgrade to, "I'll figure it out like every high-level player before me." Instead of, "I'm not confident enough," upgrade to, "Confidence is created through action. I move first, think later." Step 3. Reinforce the new system daily. High-level thinkers do this every day. Morning visualization. See yourself already living your upgraded identity. Daily calibration. Surround yourself with winning energy, eliminate distractions. Preset decisions. Stop hesitating, make bold moves first, and adjust as you go. Example: Navy SEALs don't hope, they'll be calm under fire. They've trained their brains to react automatically with confidence. Example: the greatest CEOs don't wait for market conditions. They assume success and force the market to align with their vision. Action step: pick one limiting belief. Rewrite it right now. Say it out loud. Feel it. Lock it in. This is your new default setting. The final shift. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. By now, you've woken up to something most people will never figure out. Reality is not fixed. It's a game that can be hacked. You are not trapped. You've just been playing by the wrong rules. The people at the top, they don't follow the rules, they create them. Now, there are only two choices. Ignore this and go back to life as usual. Like 99% of people who stay stuck. Apply this knowledge and start playing at an elite level. And here's the truth. The moment you start thinking and moving like the elite, the world starts bending to you. So the question is, are you ready to flip the game in your favor? Because the power is already in your hands. The next move is yours. By now, you're seeing what most people never will. But knowledge alone doesn't change reality, execution does. This is where you separate yourself from the masses. This is where you stop being a player in someone else's game and start being the architect of your own. So let's make sure you don't just understand this, you become it. High-level thinkers don't wait for motivation. They don't waste energy on doubts or second-guessing. They don't hope for a break. They install new systems in their minds and run them until success is automatic. Here's how you lock in this new reality so it becomes who you are. Step 1. The identity shift. Become the person who wins. Most people never change because they try to do different things while still being the same person. That's a broken strategy. Example, a person who says, "I want to be rich," still thinks like someone who's struggling. But the moment they start thinking like an investor, a business owner, or a strategist, everything shifts. Example, a nervous public speaker stays nervous because they still identify as someone who's bad at speaking. But the moment they step into the mindset of a powerful speaker, the nerves disappear. Action step. Write down the person you need to become. Not just what you need to do, but who you need to be. Example, I am someone who moves first and figures things out along the way. I am someone who dominates my environment instead of reacting to it. I am someone who takes control of my reality and never waits for permission. Repeat this until it feels real. Because once your identity changes, your actions follow automatically. Step 2. Install the momentum engine, the secret of unstoppable players. There's a hidden reason why high-level thinkers always stay ahead. They don't rely on motivation. They don't wait until they feel ready. Instead, they use momentum as a weapon. Example, a train going 5 kilometers per hour can be stopped by a small brick, but at full speed it will smash through a concrete wall without slowing down. This is how elite performers operate. They don't stop and start. They create momentum and ride it until nothing can stand in their way. Action step. Pick one action you can take immediately, before your brain has time to overthink it. Want to build a business? Make your first sale now. Want to dominate a skill? Start training today. Want to level up your mindset? Eliminate one low-level habit right now. Momentum isn't about doing everything at once. It's about making one move so powerful that it starts a chain reaction. Step 3, the 24-hour rule. Make change instant, not someday. Here's where most people fail. They say, I'll start tomorrow. High-level thinkers never do this. They move now. Example, billion-dollar CEOs don't wait until conditions are perfect. They move first and adjust as they go. Example, special forces don't wait for the right time in battle. They execute fast and adapt on the fly. If you don't take action within 24 hours, your brain will convince you to stay the same. Action step. Commit to taking one action within the next 24 hours, no matter how small, just enough to prove to your brain that change is already happening. Step 4. Build an environment that forces growth. Even the most powerful mindset will die in the wrong environment. That's why the world's top performers don't just work hard, they curate their surroundings to make success automatic. Example, the best athletes surround themselves with champions, so their standard of performance is always high. Example, top entrepreneurs cut out distractions, so every moment moves them forward. Example, elite soldiers train in extreme conditions so that when real combat happens, they are already prepared. Action step. Look at your environment right now. What's keeping you small? Toxic people? Cut them off. Too much distraction? Eliminate it. Low energy habits? Replace them with high performance routines. If your environment is forcing you to stay weak, change it immediately. Step 5. Daily reality reprogramming. Make success your default setting. Winners don't hope for success. They condition themselves to expect it. The daily reality reprogramming formula, morning mental programming, 3 minutes. Wake up and visualize yourself already living at the highest level. Power move, 5 minutes. Do one action that reinforces your new identity, even if it's tiny. Night calibration, 3 minutes. Ask, did my actions today match the person I want to become? If not, adjust. Example, world-class athletes mentally rehearse their wins every single day. Example, high-stakes negotiators pre-program their mindset so they walk into every deal with unshakable certainty. Example, the most successful people don't leave their future to chance. They create it through repetition. Action step, start this today. If you do this for 7 days straight, you will start seeing reality shift in real time. The final unlock. You're either in control or being controlled. By now, you've seen the real game. The truth is simple. You were never stuck. You were just playing the game wrong. Now, you have 2 options. Option 1. Keep thinking the way you always have, and get the same results. Option 2. Step into the mindset of the elite. Take control and force reality to align with you. This isn't about waiting. This is about flipping the game in your favor right now. Because the moment you stop following the rules you were given and start writing your own, you become unstoppable. Step 1. The Reticular Activating System, RAS, the brain's reality filter. Your reticular activating system, RAS, is the single most powerful mechanism in your brain. It decides what you notice, what you ignore, and ultimately, what reality you experience. Example, ever learn a new word and suddenly start hearing it everywhere? That's your RAS at work. Example, ever decide to buy a specific car and then start seeing it on the road constantly? That's your RAS tuning in. Here's how it works. Your brain is hit with 11 million bits of information per second, but it can only consciously process about 40. Your RAS filters out everything that doesn't align with what you believe is important. Your beliefs dictate what your RAS lets through. This means your reality isn't real. It's just what your RAS has been trained to see. The problem? Most people's RAS is programmed for struggle, failure, and limitations, because that's what they've been conditioned to believe. Action step, rewire your RAS right now. Write down 3 things you want more of in life: money, confidence, power, success, etc. Every morning say out loud, my mind is tuned to see X everywhere. Throughout the day, start hunting for any proof that it's true. Your RAS will now start filtering in new opportunities. Example, if you tell your RAS to find opportunities for money, you'll suddenly notice things you never saw before. Connections, ideas, hidden chances to win. Step 2, quantum reality. Shifting, the hidden science of manifestation. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. Your brain doesn't just filter reality, it creates it. Quantum physics has already proven that the observer affects reality. This isn't a theory, it's a scientific fact. The double-slit experiment. Scientists discovered that particles behave differently depending on whether they are being observed or not. This means consciousness directly impacts the physical world. Neville Goddard taught this decades ago. He called it the law of assumption. The idea, whatever you assume to be true, will eventually become your physical reality. The world's most successful people act as if their success is inevitable, and that belief bends reality to match their assumption. Action step.
Oh, yeah. Jah bless I cup and let it overflow. When seas rough him keep I boat afloat. Give thanks for his mercy and grace is always available. Jah feel like up and let it overflow. When seas rough him keep.
Donald Trump has been using this method for decades. He visualizes winning and speaks with absolute certainty. That energy influences reality, even when the odds are against him. Step 3. Controlling energy. Why your frequency dictates your outcomes. Everything in the universe is energy. You, me, money, success, power. It's all vibrating at different frequencies. If you're broadcasting fear, doubt, and weakness, guess what you attract? More of it. If you're broadcasting power, certainty, and success, what happens? You pull it toward you. Example. Studies on heart coherence show that when a person enters a state of confidence and clarity, their electromagnetic field expands, influencing those around them. Example. Casinos in Las Vegas use this principle against you. They create an environment of excitement and high energy to keep people gambling. If they changed the lighting and music, people would instantly lose interest. The truth, the entire world is responding to your energy. If you don't like what you're experiencing, change your frequency. Action step, the energy shift protocol. Stand up and move. Your body and emotions are linked. Change movement equals change emotions, period. Breathe deeply and imagine yourself filling with golden light. Sounds weird? Try it. Your nervous system reacts instantly. Start speaking as if your success is already happening. Not, I hope, but I am. Example, Warren Buffett speaks and moves with a level of certainty that makes investors believe in him. That's why they throw billions at him. Example, top military commanders exude control. Why? Because they know that their energy influences the troops below them. Your energy dictates everything. Shift it, and reality shifts with you. Step 4. The final lock-in. Becoming the architect of reality. You now have every tool you need to take control. Your RAS will filter reality based on what you train it to see. Quantum physics proves that your focus literally shifts reality at a particle level. Neville Goddard and elite strategists use mental rehearsal to shape the future. Energy is the secret currency of power. Whoever controls their frequency controls the world. But knowledge alone does nothing. Execution is everything. The final action plan. Set your new RAS filter. Decide what your mind will look for. Use the Neville Goddard night shift technique. Rewire your subconscious before sleep. Lock in your energy field. Move, breathe, and act as if you already own the reality you want. You are no longer reacting to the game. You are playing it at the highest level. Now there's only one thing left to do. If you've made it here to the end, I want to personally thank you for your time. But let's be real, time isn't free. The question is, was this just another video you watched? Or is this the moment everything changes? Because now you have a choice. Go back to how you've always thought, always reacted, always hesitated, or step into the predator mindset and start controlling the game. If you're serious about this, if you actually want to master this, here's what I'm giving you. A free guide on how to unlock the predator mindset, step by step. No fluff, no vague advice. Just straight, tactical knowledge on how to rewire your brain for dominance. Exclusive strategies I don't share anywhere else. If you thought this video was powerful, what I have for you in the newsletter is next level. The tools to outthink, outmaneuver, and outperform 99% of people, completely free. I'm giving this to you because if you've made it this far, you're not like the average person. You actually want to win. So check the link below, grab the free guide, and take your first real step into this mindset. And if you got value from this video, subscribe now, because this is just the beginning. Like the video to lock this into your mind. Drop a comment below with 2 words. Game on, if you're ready to start moving like a predator. Because at the end of the day, only 2 types of people exist in this world. Predators and prey. Which one are you? The next move is yours.
This observer, who was brought into existence by the universe, has, by his acts of observation, a part in bringing that universe itself into being.
What if I told you your past isn't fixed? It's still being created in real time. This isn't a theory, it's hard quantum physics. John Wheeler, the physicist who worked with Einstein and coined the term black hole, said, "No phenomenon is real until it is observed." Let that sink in. Nothing exists until you perceive it. Your past, your failures, your limits. They only exist because you accept them as real. But here's what they don't tell you. You can change it. Wheeler's delayed choice experiment proves that your observations right now don't just shape the future, they rewrite the past. Most people never figure this out. They stay trapped, replaying the same story, never realizing they could flip the script instantly. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to do it. Watch closely, because once you see this, there's no going back. What if I told you that the past isn't set in stone? That every moment in history, including your own memories, successes, and failures, is still waiting to be finalized. This isn't some wild conspiracy or science fiction plot. This is the reality-shattering conclusion of John Wheeler, one of the greatest physicists of all time, the man who worked alongside Einstein and coined the term black hole. And his most shocking theory, reality does not exist until it is observed. Let that sink in. Everything you think is real, from the walls around you to the struggles in your life, only exists because you acknowledge it. Now imagine this. A single photon, a tiny particle of light, is shot through a double-slit experiment. The moment you look at it, the photon decides which path it took. But here's where it gets completely insane. Wheeler proved that the photon's decision happened in the present. It reaches back in time and decides its path retroactively. Yes, you read that right. Your present observation can change the past. Let's break this down into a real-world example that will make your jaw drop. Imagine sending a text to someone, and instead of them replying based on their actual mood, their past shifts to align with what you expect their response to be. It sounds insane, right? But in quantum mechanics, that's exactly what's happening. The delayed choice experiment shows that time itself is not a fixed sequence. It's a fluid, ever-changing construct shaped by the observer. Now here's where things get life-altering. If a tiny photon can change its past based on what happens in the present, then what does that mean for your life, your memories, your identity? Are the struggles you've been through actually set in stone? Or could they be, just like the photon, waiting for your observation to change them? This is where 99% of people get reality completely wrong. Most people live trapped in their own past narratives, repeating the same patterns over and over, never realizing that they can rewrite the script at any moment. They think their failures are permanent, their traumas are unchangeable, and their circumstances are beyond their control. But Wheeler's mind-shattering experiment proves otherwise. Reality is not a fixed timeline. It's a participatory event. Your attention is the missing ingredient. You are not just a passive observer in life. You are the creator, shaping the outcome as you go. And if the universe itself works this way, then doesn't it make sense that your life, your personal story, and your future work this way too? The question is no longer, is this real? The question is, how do I use this to reshape my reality? And that's exactly what you're about to learn next. Buckle up. This is where we go from mind-blowing theory to life-changing application. Imagine your life is a quantum experiment, and you are the scientist in charge. Every single day, the universe is running tests based on your focus, your expectations, and your beliefs. The way you observe reality determines the outcome of every single event. Here's how to hack the system. Step 1. The quantum journal method. Wheeler's work suggests that reality is influenced by observation. So the key is to observe the future you want before it happens. This is where your journal becomes your most powerful tool. Every morning, write down 3 observations as if they are already real. For example, I notice that people are treating me with more respect and admiration today. I observe that money and opportunities are flowing into my life effortlessly. I am witnessing evidence that my manifestations are coming true. Why does this work? Because your brain is wired to look for what you expect to see. When you pre-program it with an observation list, reality begins to rearrange itself to match those expectations. This is not wishful thinking. It's the same principle behind the placebo effect, where belief alone rewires biology. Step 2, the observer's filter technique. Want proof that this works? Try this experiment today. Decide on something specific you want to observe. For example, the color red or a specific symbol. Go about your day as usual. By the end of the day, you'll have seen it everywhere. This is called reticular activation. Your mind filters out millions of pieces of information every second and only shows you what you're trained to look for. If this works for something as small as a color, imagine what happens when you apply it to wealth, success, or transformation. Step 3, reprogramming past reality, time rewriting meditation. Since Wheeler's delayed choice experiment proves that observation affects the past, this means we can rewrite the past by observing it differently. Try this now. Close your eyes and bring up a painful memory. Imagine it playing out differently. Picture yourself stronger, calmer, completely in control. Hold on to this new version and let it replace the old one. Science shows that your brain doesn't know the difference between a memory and imagination. The neurons firing in your brain will literally rewire themselves based on this exercise. Do this consistently, and you will actually change your emotional and physical reality. Most people are living in a past they refuse to let go of. This technique allows you to finally observe a new past, which shifts your future automatically. So, everything in your reality is responding to your attention. Change where you place it, and the entire quantum field shifts in your favor. But there's one more thing you need to know. The scientific proof that this isn't just theory. It's happening every single second. And John Wheeler wasn't the only one onto this. Einstein, Schrödinger, and Bohr all suspected reality wasn't fixed. But today's experiments confirm it beyond any doubt. The world you see isn't solid. It shifts based on observation. The most infamous quantum experiment in history, the double-slit experiment, proves this beyond question. Scientists fired tiny particles through 2 slits, expecting them to behave like bullets. But the moment they weren't observed, the particles spread out like waves, existing everywhere at once. When they were observed, they collapsed into a single path, as if reality was waiting for a conscious mind to lock it in place. That means reality isn't set in stone. It waits for you to decide what's real. Even outside physics, psychology backs this up. The placebo effect is proof. People take a sugar pill, believing it's medicine, and their body heals itself anyway. Their belief alone rewrites their biology. And here's the shocking part. This doesn't just work on health. Studies show that expectation influences everything. Your wealth, success, relationships. The richest people in the world aren't struggling for money because their observation is already wired for abundance. Meanwhile, those who expect struggle find struggle everywhere. This is not new age fluff. This is hard science. Your thoughts and focus literally sculpt your reality at a quantum level. Your subconscious is like an unseen architect, feeding signals into the system of existence itself. And just like the particles in the double-slit experiment, your future isn't fixed. It's fluid, waiting for your observation to shape it. This is why some people break free while others stay trapped. It's not luck, it's perception. The second you shift your focus, the entire field of probability shifts with you. If John Wheeler was right, your reality is not happening to you. It's happening because of you. So the real question is, what will you choose to observe next? And after understanding that reality isn't as fixed as it might seem, we can start thinking about how to reshape our own lives by considering different perspectives and possibilities. It's like realizing you can adjust your path, not just follow it. Our lives are a series of decisions, big and small, each setting the stage for the next chapter. When we acknowledge that reality is not set in stone, there's an opportunity to make substantial changes that might have once seemed impossible. The concept of time loops and alternate realities can be a bit mind-bending, but breaking it down simply, time doesn't just move forward in a single line. It can loop, turn, and branch out in ways we might not have imagined before. Imagine each decision as a path, where choosing one direction could lead to a reality distinct from the other choice. While this might sound abstract, think about how you reconsider past decisions, imagining different outcomes had you chosen otherwise. Perhaps you've heard of the butterfly effect, the idea that small actions can have huge impacts. This leads us to think about how small, positive changes in our lives can redirect us toward more fulfilling realities. Instead of getting stuck in the idea of a single linear path, you can make new choices, aware that each action holds the potential to open up new avenues and alter your course. History is full of stories where people changed their life's trajectory by taking seemingly minor steps. A punctual choice, a heartfelt apology, a sudden inspiration turned into action. What separates these moments from day-to-day choices is their impact, how they shift the narrative of someone's life. This notion can help us approach decisions with more openness and creativity. It doesn't mean fearing every choice, but rather cherishing the transformative potential within them. Consider this: not every alternate reality needs to be vastly different. Sometimes reshaping your life could mean only slight adjustments that bring profound happiness or satisfaction. You know those mornings you decide to start something new, a hobby, a habit, a different routine. That choice sets a ripple of change that builds over time, redirecting your life. It's about embracing the capacity for change and growth every day. Also, this idea can help reduce the weight of past regrets. Instead of dwelling on what could have been, think of every regret as a branch, a path you could explore mentally to understand yourself better, not something to fixate upon. The acknowledgement of alternate realities isn't about lingering in the past, but enriching your decision-making process today, feeling less confined by what once was. In terms of time loops, it might feel like déjà vu or recognizing a pattern in your life that keeps recurring. Some people use this awareness to break out of cycles that feel restrictive, approaching decisions with fresh, new energy each time. It's about learning, adapting, and choosing new behaviors to form preferred patterns. As you reshape your life, there's benefit in keeping an open mind and heart. Instead of trying to predict every possible future, an approach that often leads to stress, embrace what feels right to you in the moment. Notice opportunities that align with who you are and who you want to be. Embracing alternate realities also encourages a mindset of abundance, understanding that there are numerous opportunities and pathways. Even if one road appears closed, others abound. This encourages a more resilient perspective, one where setbacks aren't the end, but merely a prompt to try another direction. Lastly, reshaping your life within this context is profoundly personal. It's about identifying what truly matters to you. Clarifying your values and priorities will guide you through the myriad of possibilities and decisions, helping you create a life that reflects your genuine self, one reality at a time. And with these thoughts in mind, let's look ahead to how science is testing these theories, bridging imagination with evidence. In our quest to grasp the vastness of experiments and theories concerning time loops and alternate realities, we start with a fascinating experiment that redefines our understanding of how reality might unfold. At the heart of this exploration lies the double-slit experiment, a classic in quantum physics. Its results are both mysterious and enlightening, offering a glimpse into the strange behavior of particles and perhaps the nature of time and reality itself. In this experiment, particles like electrons or photons are fired at a barrier with two slits. Behind the barrier is a screen that records where each particle lands. When the slits are open and no one is observing, the particles create an interference pattern on the screen, as if they are waves passing through both slits simultaneously. However, once an observer attempts to measure which slit the particles go through, the interference pattern vanishes, and the particles behave like solid objects, passing through one slit at a time. This suggests that the act of observation itself affects how particles behave, blurring the lines of what reality is until it is measured or observed. This intriguing phenomenon opens discussions on the idea that different realities or timelines might indeed coexist. If observation can change outcomes on a particle level, could it also shape larger scales of reality? This notion invites theories that propose we create or choose from alternate realities by observing or interacting with them differently. It leads us to consider the immense possibilities of time loops and alternate realities, where every decision we make might shift us onto a different path, creating a new timeline. Another marvel in this field is the concept of superposition, where quantum particles can be in multiple states simultaneously until they are observed. Leading physicists like Schrödinger encapsulated this idea with a thought experiment, Schrödinger's cat. This imaginary cat is placed in a sealed box with a mechanism that has the potential to release poison based on a random quantum event, whether a particle decays or not. Until the box is opened and observed, the cat exists in a superposition of being both alive and dead. This strange scenario mirrors the idea that our reality could be simultaneously existing in a superposition of different fates, waiting to collapse into one reality upon observation. As we explore alternate realities, the concept of time loops emerges as a focal point. These loops suggest the possibility of revisiting the past, enabling changes or adjustments. In theoretical physics, time loops are described through concepts like closed time-like curves. Some physicists argue that such loops could allow particles to move back and forth in time, potentially altering events in an alternate timeline. While this might sound like science fiction, philosophers and scientists have pondered its implications for decades. Could time loops explain persistent déjà vu experiences, or offer explanations for moments when events seem predestined? By considering these loops, we open doors to understanding how past events could influence the present and future, and how altering past actions might reshape the timeline we are currently on. Beyond these experimental and theoretical explorations lies an exciting idea: multiverse theory. This posits an infinite number of parallel universes that exist alongside our own, each slightly or vastly different. Every decision, every path not taken may manifest an alternate reality. Experiments are still largely speculative in proving the existence of a multiverse, but the possibility drives significant research, seeking to uncover how these realities might intersect. One of the theories supports the idea that interactions among different realities could impact events in ours. For instance, if two universes came close or overlapped, would we notice a shift, a ripple in time, or even experience glitches that suggest a crossing over of information? These are just some of the questions scientists are eager to answer. The pursuit to understand these complexities may one day reveal how interconnected realities shape our lives. These experiments and theories challenge our traditional understanding of reality. Through considered thought, groundbreaking experimentation, and striking theories, we are prompted to rethink time, choice, and existence. As we continue to uncover the mysteries behind time loops and alternate realities, who knows what fascinating truths we might discover? Let's take this from theory to real life, because this is where everything changes. If Wheeler's delayed choice experiment proves that the past is influenced by the present, then what does that mean for you? It means that every moment you thought was set in stone, the regrets, the failures, the mistakes, is still in play. Your life story isn't a finished book. It's a living manuscript, and with the right approach, you can rewrite it. Here's how. The time rewriting meditation. If the universe is constantly reshaping itself based on how it's observed, then you can deliberately choose a new observation of your past to shift your present and future. This isn't just a feel-good exercise. It's rewiring your brain and your reality at the same time. Try this now. Step 1. Close your eyes and recall a negative event in your past, one that still affects you today. Step 2. Instead of replaying the trauma, imagine a new version of it. See yourself reacting differently, calm, in control, powerful. Step 3. Hold that new version in your mind. See it, feel it, absorb it. Step 4. When you open your eyes, you've just created a new neural pathway. Your subconscious will now process that memory differently. Why this works? Neuroscience shows that your brain doesn't store memories like a hard drive. It rebuilds them every time you recall them. Each time you bring up a memory, you are editing it. So why not edit it in your favor? This is Wheeler's theory in action. You are literally delaying your choice about what happened in the past. And by choosing a new observation, you shift how reality unfolds moving forward. Do this for 7 days, and watch your emotional state, confidence, and even external circumstances begin to shift. The past isn't what you think it is. It's waiting for your new perception. And this brings us to the most mind-blowing realization of all. Most people believe life is linear, that time moves forward, that events happen, and that they're simply reacting to it all. But that's a lie. Reality is a loop, a self-correcting, self-reinforcing cycle that continuously mirrors your expectations. Think of it like this. Your beliefs shape what you notice. What you notice reinforces your beliefs. Your beliefs then shape your actions. Your actions shape your results. Your results reinforce your beliefs. Here's the ultimate reality hack, the 3-step observer's method. If reality is a loop, you can disrupt it and reprogram it using 3 simple steps. Step 1. Observe with intention. Every morning, decide what you expect to see. Not what you hope to see, what you know will happen. For example, today, I will see undeniable proof that my reality is shifting in my favor. Step 2. Act as if the shift is already happening. Behave as though reality has already changed. Walk, talk, and make decisions as the version of you who is already thriving. Your brain will begin reconfiguring itself to align with this. Step 3. Collect proof and reinforce the loop. As you go through the day, watch for signs. The more you acknowledge reality shifting, the faster it recalibrates. Even small signs, like unexpected good luck, coincidences, or people treating you differently, are proof that you're tuning into a new frequency of reality. What happens when you do this daily? Your entire life begins rearranging itself to fit your new observation. Because this isn't about faking it. It's about using the science of observation to shift the experiment in real time. Wheeler's final warning. If you don't control the loop controls you. Most people observe the same things every day, reinforcing the same reality and staying stuck in self-imposed limits. The key is to interrupt the loop and start observing a new reality, one where you are in control. And this is where everything comes together in one final mind-blowing realization. Here's what they don't want you to know. John Wheeler once said, "The past exists only because we observe it." If that's true, then everything you've ever experienced is still flexible. Your failures, your limitations, your so-called mistakes, they are waiting for you to reinterpret them. Reality doesn't have a fixed script. It's an interactive, living system. And the second you start deliberately observing a new version of yourself, reality will catch up. But here's the most important part. You don't need to fix anything. You just need to start seeing reality differently. Challenge. For the next 7 days, practice this. Use the observer's method, rewrite a past event, and set an expectation every morning. Then come back to this video and tell me what happened. Final call to action. Most people will hear this and do nothing. They'll continue living as if reality is out of their control. But a few, the ones who get it, will start shifting their perception, and their entire life will begin changing in ways they never thought possible. Your reality is waiting for you to rewrite it. The only question is, will you take control? So we've gone through some intriguing experiments and theories that challenge our understanding of time and reality. Now let's talk about how the delayed choice effect, an idea that feels like it belongs in science fiction, can actually play out in our daily lives. This concept comes from physics and touches on how actions can influence outcomes, even after events seem to be decided. Think about situations where you make a decision, and it feels like the choice somehow affects things already set in motion. Have you ever picked something different at the last moment, and everything seems to fall into place, as if your choice reached back and changed the course of events? It might feel like coincidence or intuition, but it's closely related to the delayed choice thought experiment. Imagine you're planning your day and you spontaneously decide to take a different route to work. On the surface, it seems like a minor change. But during the drive, you encounter someone you haven't seen in years, leading to new connections or even opportunities. The initial decision seemed small, but its impact ripples through time, shaping outcomes not just in the future, but reinforcing the idea that perception and choice are subtly interlinked even with past events. This concept encourages a mindset that recognizes every choice as active, present, and influential. It invites us to consider the idea that our perception and awareness can actually shape outcomes. It's a bit like rereading a story. Each time, you notice new details, and the ending feels different, even if the text hasn't changed. Our understanding of the events shifts based on what we bring into the reading each time. There's another layer to this idea, grounded in mindful living. When people say to live in the moment, they imply being fully aware of the present. The delayed choice effect offers a deeper layer to that notion, suggesting that making conscious choices now can resonate with past scenarios and transform what seemed fixed. For instance, think about an argument with a friend. The way you choose to react in the moment, with patience or frustration, seems like it might only affect the future of that relationship. But, reflecting on this concept, your response can cast a new light on past interactions, changing the narrative you hold about the friendship's history, its quality, and its progression to what it is now. Applying this idea takes practice. It involves actively choosing how you wish to respond and what you decide to focus on. After a family disagreement, reconsider your feelings the following day. This slight pause, this choice, can alter your perception, making past interactions appear more positive or offer previously unnoticed insights. The action still occurred, but your current choices shape its meaning. In a world that can feel predetermined and unchangeable, the delayed choice effect offers hope. It hints that while much seems set in stone, there's room to influence, reinterpret, and redefine. The key lies in recognizing you have the agency to form your reality through choices, big and small, that resonate backward and forward in time. It's like seeing a painting from different angles. With each new perspective, you notice colors and forms that missed your attention before. Similarly, decisions let you experience life from different angles, crafting a newly perceived past, which influences the road ahead. In our next section, we'll explore reality as a concept that loops back on itself. We'll see how to embrace this to create moments that help you handle life's challenges and opportunities with more clarity and intent. The delayed choice effect is just the start of understanding time and actions in a fresh light, offering tools to paint your future with broader, more colorful strokes. Let's take a closer look at how the concept of reality itself could be seen as a loop, and how you can use this idea for your benefit. So, imagine waking up every morning, not just to the same sounds and familiar faces, but to the possibility that today isn't just any other day. What if every day was a chance not just for routine, but for reinvention? Seeing reality as a loop opens up this exciting prospect. Think about your daily habits and routines. Most people think of them as linear, where every action leads to the next. But what if you viewed them as loops? Continuous cycles where each action feeds back into the start of your next, creating patterns. In this view, every step of your day could become an opportunity to make small tweaks that eventually transform the whole loop. This new perspective encourages something powerful: conscious iteration. Maybe yesterday you were not fully satisfied with how you handled a situation. The loop grants you another chance. By reflecting on past outcomes and tweaking your approach bit by bit, you can slowly reshape the cycle in your favor. You become more than just a passenger of time. You're the artist, painting your days on a constantly refreshing canvas. Another aspect to consider is the influence of your mental state on these loops. Your thoughts and emotions aren't separate from the cycle. They are at its core. The way you perceive your day can set the tone for how it unfolds. If you start with a mindset focused on possibilities rather than limitations, your day's loop is more likely to reflect that positivity back at you. So nurturing a sense of optimism and gratitude can create loops that offer you brighter and more fulfilling experiences. To use reality loops to your advantage, you can adopt a playful attitude towards your routines. Instead of viewing them as rigid or stale, treat them as experiments. Each day, try something a tiny bit different. Wake up a bit earlier to enjoy a quiet moment. Add one more page to your reading time, or try to connect more deeply in a conversation. These small changes can ripple through your life's loops, sparking new outcomes and insights. Moreover, the metaphor of the loop can help you build resilience. Life isn't always smooth. Some loops will feel like they are spinning out of control. But knowing that the loop continues, that each ending is another beginning, can lend you the perspective that difficult times aren't forever. This awareness allows you to approach challenges with patience and a sense of learning. It's this understanding that loops are continuous that offers you both hope and opportunity. Taking this idea further, Consider your long-term goals and ambitions. Envision them as larger loops within your life. Each day you engage in activities and decisions that contribute to these goals, shaping the path towards them. Setbacks aren't failures, they are feedback for your next loop. This vision frames every effort as an integral part of a dynamic process. A cycle where progress isn't about perfection, but about persistence and growth. And there's something liberating about seeing your life this way. It means embracing that change is part and parcel of the cycle. You're not trapped in your past choices, but free to forge new links in your life's chain. This ongoing evolution reflects a beautiful truth. Each day is another opportunity to rewrite your story, correcting the loop's course whenever necessary. Incorporating the loop framework into your understanding of reality gives you power. Power to change, to adapt, to overcome, and to explore. It encourages living with purpose and mindfulness, knowing that every small action accumulates. It's about seeing your own movie unfold, one scene at a time, where you already know the rhythm, but hold the pen for each new script. Next up is the final twist in our exploration, as we unlock the ultimate piece of this fascinating puzzle, the mind-blowing revelation that'll tie all these concepts together, providing a whole new dimension to consider and utilize. Stay tuned for the unveiling of the final mystery. Think about how each moment feels like it's repeating, yet subtly different. That's the essence of a time loop, where you live the same day, the same event, over and over. Yet, with each repetition, there's a chance to see the deeper layers beneath. It's like peeling an onion, each layer revealing the same core, but offering new details, fresh insights, and unexpected surprises. Now, if we've understood that reality can loop, can echo its stories, what does that mean for our lives? What if each moment, each decision, every single choice is part of a grand design, shaping not just this reality, but countless others? It's not just about being stuck. It's about recognizing that we have the opportunity to refine our actions, to re-sculpt our lives with each round. Imagine living a day filled with mistakes or regrets. How would you approach it differently if you knew you could meet it again, armed with what you learned? It's the ultimate second chance, not limited by luck, but by choice. And each attempt doesn't have to be perfect. It's more about understanding what's possible and what you truly value. Perhaps in those repetitions, the patterns start to show themselves, the causes of conflict, the seeds of joy. It's like rewinding a film and watching each frame. You begin to predict the next scene, know the dialogues by heart, and maybe even change the script in subtle ways. With this insight, imagine how much more deliberate and meaningful decisions can become. At this point, it's natural to ponder the wider implications. If loops exist, what are alternate realities like? Are they waiting for us to create them, or do they exist independently, shaped by every possibility we consider? It's a staggering thought, but one that offers liberation, the freedom to mold a version of existence that truly aligns with our hopes and dreams. There is tremendous power in realizing we might exist across multiple planes, and that one version of us might be learning faster, another living more boldly. With this realization, maybe there's a chance to tap into those lessons, to draw inspiration from versions of ourselves that are more courageous, wise, or curious. When faced with a problem, consider looking at it through this lens. Even the worst situations are not merely obstacles, but opportunities for different outcomes, alternate realities. These are places where things go differently, where every route not taken here is explored and lived out. Ultimately, understanding that reality is a loop and alternate paths might coexist encourages us to be less rigid in our thinking. Life doesn't have to be a straight line or a series of unbending paths. Flexibility and openness lead to unexpected detours that might hold more promise than the original plan. So what do we do with this revelation? We start by accepting that imperfection is not failure, but part of exploration. Each loop, each alternate outcome, strengthens our understanding and guides our choices. This isn't just a theoretical exercise, it's a practical blueprint for a fulfilled life. Embarking on everyday tasks with this awareness means each moment holds potential. Whether that's learning a new skill, mending a relationship, or simply appreciating what went unnoticed before. Every single choice becomes a significant step to a more enriched and expansive reality. And therein lies the final revelation. Reality, in its loops and alternate branches, is waiting for a traveler bold enough to explore, adapt, and thrive with each twist and turn. Embrace each moment with the certainty that it brings wisdom and presents endless possibilities for creation and recreation. Imagine waking up each day, the same routine playing out with no surprises, only a cycle of predictability. Yet deep within, there's a yearning for something more, a desire to grasp that elusive sense of control over the unfolding of one's life. We often wonder if there's a way to shift the narrative, to change our experience in ways we've only dreamed of. This isn't merely about adjusting small parts of our daily schedule. It's about realizing the potential to influence the very fabric of our reality. In the midst of our routine, there lies a hidden door, a possibility that goes unnoticed by most. It's the idea that reality, as we perceive it, is malleable. Time loops and alternate realities aren't just abstract concepts discussed in the fantastical tales of movies and books. There's a line of thinking that positions them as potential tools for rewiring our experience, broadening our understanding, and indeed taking control of what is often thought to be uncontrollable. To tap into this potential, we must start with the notion of time as we know it. Linear and uniform, time guides our lives from past to future. But what if shifting your perception of time could mold your reality just the way you want? Imagine recognizing patterns, rewriting certain moments by understanding they're not inflexible. Each loop gives a chance to refine actions, choices, and reactions. The possibility of breaking out of a loop is real, offering a chance to reimagine outcomes. Alternate realities present another layer of this experience. They suggest there are many outcomes to every decision we make. Think of them as paths on an infinite map, each experience only a few degrees away from the next. This isn't just theoretical. It's a mindset shift that encourages broader thinking and greater control. By envisioning alternate realities, you allow yourself to explore different outcomes without the constraints of a single reality holding you back. While this may seem profound, it starts with simple acts. Reflect on moments that repeat and assess why they do so. Is there a change you wish to make? This practice challenges you to think differently, giving space to choose actions that lead to outcomes you desire. In doing so, you'll start to witness shifts in your daily existence. Patterns that once felt immovable can transform, highlighting the power of choice and perception. Taking control of your reality is a progressive process, requiring self-awareness and patience. It means acknowledging the constraints and capabilities of your life as it stands and gradually repositioning your experience. Small adjustments can lead to big changes, and by accepting the fluidity of reality, you embark on a journey where you don't feel trapped by the past or an unchanging future. Whether it's improving daily interactions or making meaningful life decisions, shifting your perspective on time and reality can open doors you never thought possible. Reality is not as solid as it appears. Rather, it offers flexibility, allowing you to bend it to your will. As you explore these ideas, remember that this isn't about escaping the present. It's about harnessing the potential to influence it. The true step forward is realizing that the concept of reality is vastly more flexible than we've been led to believe. The loops and alternatives offer a key, not to rewrite time, but to navigate it more effectively. With this knowledge, you hold the potential to create a world that aligns more closely with your deepest desires. This approach empowers you to not only respond more creatively, but also understand that each moment holds possibilities previously unseen. As you continue on this path, allow your curiosity and critical thinking to guide each step. The choices you make today won't just affect tomorrow. They create ripples through an ever-shifting expanse of possibilities, each waiting for you to carve a new path. As we conclude this exploration, remember, the choices you make are powerful. Each moment provides an opportunity, not just a reaction to the world around you. It's about taking that step forward, knowing that every action paves a pathway towards different outcomes. Every day is a new possibility, a chance to rewrite the story the way you wish it to be. You have discovered the amazing ability to impact your reality, to select which loop to enter, and now it's about embracing that potential. So why wait? Dive into the mystery of each decision and let them unfold in new and exciting directions. Stay curious and open to the hints that life throws at you, those small signs that might seem insignificant at first. They are the threads that weave a different chapter of your life. The more you recognize these, the more you'll tap into the different layers of what your reality can become. By choosing a path less traveled, you open doors to unique experiences and growth. It's about being present, aware, and ready to face whatever comes your way. Don't settle for the predictable or the expected. Allow your life to be a canvas where you paint your journey boldly, with colors of bravery and imagination. Take one moment at a time and treat every choice as the key to something greater. This way, each day becomes a new chance to live the story you've always wanted. Where will your decisions take you tomorrow? What reality will you craft today? The potential for change lies in your hands. Embrace it. If you've made it this far, you're already witnessing reality differently. And that means you're ready to take control. But knowledge without action is wasted power. The difference between people who transform their reality and those who stay stuck is what they do with what they've learned. Right now, you have a choice: to stay passive and let reality happen to you, or to step into your role as the observer and start shaping your future. If you're ready to take control, show it. Like this video right now, because every time you engage, you're reinforcing this message in your subconscious. Comment "present now" below to declare that you are no longer stuck in the past or waiting for the future.